Hey y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back for another installment of Beyond the Game. My name is Angelica McDonald. And I'm really excited to be with y'all today. So today's topic, this is gonna be like, it's not like a teaching topic today. This is more like a conversational topic, and I'll tell you in a minute where this spurred from. But I'm really excited just about like kind of laid back conversation today. So no teaching today on a specific topic, but we will be talking about something I think is super important in an athlete being successful. So just excited about today's topic. So of course, let me introduce myself if you don't know me. My name is Angelica McDonald. I am a sports agent and an attorney, and I help parents and athletes navigate NIL, name, image, and likeness, and personal branding through education and strategy so that athlete can turn their talents into opportunities. So, if you've been tuning in with me or you follow me online, you know I'm the person that has been helping high school and college athletes when it comes to personal branding and NIL. I also review contracts. I provide like just consulting services too if parents or athletes are trying to get started. And trying to, get dialed in when it comes to athletes turning their talents into opportunities, whether it means to make some extra money, whether it means to like launch a business or the like. So I'm really excited to be talking to y'all today. So today's topic is parents are their child's biggest advocate. And I'll tell you what spurred this topic. I was thinking last night, I was like, I have topics like that I build out, but I don't know, like I just was leaning into talking about this subject. I did a NIL personal branding session this past Saturday, with my cousin, who is an amazing coach but very accomplished athlete as well. And it was really cool. Like we had a whole situation set up, like a tent, and we had chairs underneath the tent, and it was like at a small business event where there was like a whole lot of vendors, right? So we set up like a NIL, like a tent, and we would talk about NIL, personal branding, and recruiting, and how to make the athlete more recruitable, right? So we probably had about 5 parents that came, and it actually was really, really cool, very relaxed. Because at first when we were playing it, we were like, okay, we want a PowerPoint, and I'm just like, this is one, it's gonna be hot outside, like we need to be like pretty low key, and she agreed. So like I was gonna do handouts, but then I realized, you know what, I'm not gonna do all that. So the parents came, and they were actually really excited to talk to us and speak with us. And honestly, it was a breath of fresh air. It was a breath of fresh air to see parents not only show up, but be very, very dialed in. You know what I mean? Like it was really cool to see parents do that. So during the sessions, like I talked about, at first I started out with talking about personal branding and why it's important and how athletes can build their personal brand. And from the beginning, like there was a lot of conversation, and the parents, like the athletes, as far as their level is concerned, like we had one middle schooler and the rest were like juniors and seniors. So that, of course, the advice would be a little bit different, but a lot of it was pretty much the same. And the parents were very active as far as asking about certain things, and it helped me to see that they actually have been doing more research, and they were actually okay with getting vulnerable, and and just being, super honest about where their child is, like where they see it versus the child. Like the athletes were not there, so it was just parents. Well, my last session, I had to sit down with the athlete and the parent, and I'll tell y'all about that session after I finish this story. But they were super dialed in, and they got it. They really understood it. They understood the concepts. They understood like just the whole realm of things. And what I really love most about what the parents had to say is that they were very honest about where their child is as far as their athletic journey and where they plan on going in the future, or what they see in their future. Like they're okay with them saying they're really good, but also we want to be realistic about the choices that they may have possibly make, or the place that they are in. So, I love that, because a lot of times, like when you're growing up, and we have to think about, like, I'm in my 30s, so you have to think about like back when you were in school and you leaned on your parent for advice and direction and just all of the things, right? I think that it was so important for parents to see honestly and realistically see what their child is and where they could go. Now, not to say that, they're, children can be very, very talented, right? But there's a lot of different variations of factors as to where they could go, right? And it's up to the parent to set the stage for where they could go, where they're at, and then the work that it takes to get where they want to go. And leaving the realm of possibility of that may not happen. So a lot, like all of the parents, they were very open to being honest about what stage their child was at. And even like I had a parent, she was just like, my daughter, like she plays this sport. She plays this sport, but I don't know if she's really serious. I don't know whether she's really serious. I can't tell. And she said her husband often says like he feels like his kids, they all play sports. They're not as dialed in. They're not as passionate about it because they're not like putting in the work. They say they want these results, but they're not putting in the work. And I was just like, wow, that's quite a, evaluation and reflection to be able to see that and to be honest with that child about it. Because some parents, they're going to dream with their kids, which is good. But sometimes like you are that steady foundation. While they're dreaming, you can still be here and be realistic, right? It's important for a parent to be that foundation. It's important for that parent to be the biggest advocate. And I say that because clearly these parents were pretty dialed in and were saying like, I am my child's biggest advocate. And it is up to me to fill in the blanks where they don't have the information and be their eyes and their ears. And I shared that like a lot of parents, they come to me because they want me to help them get, their child NIL deals and this, that, and the third, which is okay. But I told them, I was like, you don't necessarily need me once you get like outside of, contractual review or whatever, or just advice in situational, circumstances. I'm like, once you get all the details and all the information, you wouldn't need me on a consistent basis. Especially if, the things that are happening are just kind of here, there, and everywhere. They're not like, constant. So I told them, I said, y'all, I am happy that y'all came here to get the information to ask questions, but understand that I really want to empower y'all to be your child's biggest advocate. And for you to constantly stay dialed in to where your child is so that you can make the best decision and guide them on making the best decision. And also reminding them that, and I didn't really have to remind them because I think that they're all like kind of pretty tapped into this part where this is your child's decision. This is not your decision. And none of them gave me the vibe of like they were pushing their child. But sometimes they said it has to be a balance of pushing your child because you know that they're like, oh, I don't feel like doing this, pushing them, but then also understanding when you don't need to push and you kind of need to let something go. So I love the balance of them just being aware. And I just really enjoyed the flow and the naturalness of the conversation, the authentic conversation where we were literally just kind of, normally like when I give NIL presentations, like I just break things down and I like give a lot of stats and stuff, but we were just able to have honest conversation about where each one of their child is in their athletic journey and what their plans are and what they can do to gain visibility and be more recruitable or get better, even when it comes to like making content, how easy it is to make content. And we even talked about how to get the community more dialed in and even expressing those ways of how we can try to advocate more for at young athletes when it comes to their schools and their community, and hoping that, you know, the advocacy will translate into the community showing up more for these athletes. So I love the conversation that we were able to have. And I just want to encourage parents, like, to step outside of, it's cool for your child to go to camps and, you know, participate in AAU and all this other stuff. But I also think it's important for you to be dialed in, because there are so many other ways for student athletes to gain visibility than just going to camps and being on AAU teams. There's just so much more. There's so many different opportunities in this day and age. Maybe back then, like maybe 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago. But now, like the strength of social media and the strength of, you know, content creation, one can be very, very, with consistency and strategy, can be very, very successful building their own visibility. It is very possible. So I don't want parents to think that they have to shell out all of this money in order to get their child on a school's radar. Because if a school wants a child, they're going to find out about them. They're going to find out about them, and they're going to come looking. Now, but you can't wait for them to come looking for them. You need to place them before them. You need to get them, help them get visibility. And I think that's the part of what I do. I try to arm people with the skills and the tools to help their kids get visibility. But if you're not showing up for your kids in that way, or advocating or asking questions, then they are going to be limited to the AAUs and the camps and stuff like that. If you're not asking questions, if you're not talking to your coach, one of the parents, she was just like, you know, a lot of parents, they want to blame the coach if their child doesn't get a scholarship or whatever. And sometimes I do think that coaches do have obligations to look at their athletes, be realistic with them as well, where their skill set is, and if they see something in that child, help them gain more visibility, make calls, put them in positions to be seen. I agree with that. Like, I think that coaches should be doing that. Are all coaches gonna do that? Heck no. We know that is not going to be the case. I have too many friends and classmates that missed opportunities because their coaches didn't do that. But I also think they missed opportunities because their parents just didn't know any better. They didn't know how to position them. They didn't know how to help them gain visibility. They didn't know any of that. So I think that a lot of athletes' success, like in and outside of sports, is very definitive on the people behind them, particularly their parents. Because at the end of the day, if you see that the coach is not doing something, what you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? You just gonna sit there and just complain about it and wait for somebody to come rescue you or your child? No. I would hope that you would get up and do something about it. So I'm encouraging parents to step up. There's so many different things when it comes to NIL and personal branding. So many different resources, so many free resources, or inexpensive resources that that people provide. Now, I will say, you got to be careful with these resources and stuff, because people will be out here scamming and, you know, trying to make a quick buck. They're not invested. It's very much like a trend or whatever, which I've seen a lot of people be real trendy out here. So make sure you go into, you know, research on who these people are and their investment into your child's future. But I'm like so adamant about parents really being there for their athletes in a way that goes outside of, you know, the providing the gear and doing camps, but also being their eyes and their ears and thinking about it and really moving on, making decisions, like putting certain things into place. And I know it can be hard. Like, I'm not a parent, but I have plenty of friends that are, and I talk to them a lot about just, you know, the journeys of the different decisions they have to make and the balls that they have to juggle and balance. And I know it's tough. But I also know that, like, you know, if anybody has parents like mine, they would willingly sacrifice whatever to make sure that I was successful, to make sure that I had every opportunity possible. My mother was always thinking about something for me to do and be involved in. And I think I don't even know if she knew. She just wanted me to be like an involved kid, I guess. Like, I need to ask her. Like, did she see something in me? Or was she just trying to keep me busy? Like, I wonder sometimes, did you see that I was a smart kid, like smart and swanky kid? Or were you just trying to keep me busy? I don't know. But I feel like I turned out pretty well. So, but I'm really interested in seeing more parents do what these parents did this weekend. There was actually another parent. So literally this was kind of like a one-on-one. And I didn't even really consider this like a actual strategy session. I think I would like to call this like more of a real talk session that I had with the mom and her daughter. She's the upcoming junior, and she says like she wants to, you know, play at the collegiate level. And I asked her, I said, how many times have you worked out this summer? And she was like, well, you know, and her mom was, when one of the other moms is the one that told her, you need to talk to her. So she was like, hey, you know, I called my baby out here, because she wasn't even out at the event. She called her and told her to come bring her behind down there so she could talk to me. And we just kind of sat down, and I asked her, I said, you need to make a decision. Like, you need to really make a decision on what you want. You're at the stage now, you're a junior. You really need to make some decisions very quickly, because some of your summer is already gone. So we need to be making some plans. And you need, because she was talking, her mom was sitting next to me, and she was sitting on the other side of her mom. And she was speaking, and we're outside, so she was kind of speaking low. And her mom was like, can you hear her? And I said, yeah, I heard everything she said. She said, I can't hear her. And I was like, well, she said this. And she was like, okay. And, you know, and I am interested to see like what kind of decisions she's going to make. And my cousin, she's having a camp this week. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, my cousin Kelly Daniels, she's going to be having a camp for 3rd through 9th grade, and it is not too late to sign up. I'm just going to be a plug for her. It's not too late to sign up. There was even some kids out there that did not know about the camp. So if you are interested in attending this camp in Rayford, North Carolina, please let me know. And I will definitely send you the information so you can register. It's $50 for 3 days, 8 to 12:30 every day, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And it's going to be an amazing camp. I participated in some of her camps in the past. We've had a good time. One year I did like this whole like sports agent setup where like one side was the team and one side was the player, and we were negotiating a player's salary. And the kids enjoyed it. So that was pretty fun. I really enjoyed that, and the kids I think enjoyed it too. They were really into it. So I've had a good time with the kids. You know, there was a conversation that needed to be had, and I don't know if mom like had felt comfortable having that conversation, or she had, but she hadn't been able to really get it out of her daughter. So I think being around me and my cousin, like really talking about things and how she needs to position herself, I think it really made her think like, do I want it? She said she wanted, but I told her, I said, you need to make a decision. And you need to really think about like all the effort, because we can say we want things, but are we willing to put in the time and the effort? And mom was like, and I told her, I said, this could be an opportunity for you to attend college for free. We were asking what her career goals are. So like we're at school, she might be potentially interested in attending and this, that, and the third, and what kind of teams they had, and everything like that. And I told her, I said, this could be an opportunity for you to attend school and have your education paid for, and this, that, and the third. And I guess she was the baby of the family. Her mama already put 2 of her siblings through college. So now it's like, okay, she's the last one. What are we going to do so we can prepare? And I don't think mom was like dialed into a certain result. It was just kind of like, what do you want to do? I want to know so that I can move accordingly. And then the great part about all the parents is they signed up for my workshop that I'm hosting this Saturday. I'm hosting a social media optimization workshop where I'm helping parents, teaching parents how to optimize their students, their athletes social media profile. So or just the importance of what having a primed and ready social media profile can do, and just the benefits of it, and just what that looks like. So they all signed up. If you are interested in signing up, you can go to IamAngelicaMcDonald.com/winning profiles. And it is free to attend. And if you can attend, I'll be sending out the replay to all the attendees too. So if you can attend, please still sign up. You can register again at IamAngelicaMcDonald.com/winning profiles with the S, winning profiles. But yeah, like, again, I invited them to come, and they like willingly signed up, and they were super excited, and they seemed like super energized. And what I love most about one of the parents, she was just like, look, I'm doing this for my child, but I'm also like putting in work for the other student, because her son plays golf, and she is super tapped into trying to get visibility and exposure, not only for her child, but the team as well. And I thought that was like pretty noble. And again, normally we like worry about our own kids, but she's even worried about, trying to put the other athletes in a more visible position. And I can appreciate that. Like she gets it, and she does a little bit of marketing too, so she definitely gets it. But and some of the parents knew what NIL was. It was like, so tell us about what this is. How can they make money? How can they do this? And I told them, of course, North Carolina high school students cannot participate in NIL opportunities. But we can start building the blocks. We can start building a foundation so that when they get to college, they're ready. They're ready to go, and they're ready to go ahead and jump into some opportunities. So I wanted to bring it to their attention, like how NIL can work for them. But understanding that really the foundation of NIL and recruiting and getting recruited is to have a consistent and stable personal brand. On both fronts. Maybe they don't want to participate in NIL. Maybe they just want to get recruited, play at the collegiate level, get a free education, and go about their careers. Personal branding has everything to do with recruitment too. Because you can't tell me that these coaches are not paying attention to what kind of brand that these kids have, and and their parents too. So parents understand, while you're your child's biggest advocate, you can also ruin the opportunities that your child has too by being a crazy parent on social media, in person and on social media. Because it's very few coaches that I know that want to be dealing with parents that are very difficult, that make their job incredibly difficult. And I don't mean being the biggest advocate. I mean being the biggest pain in the butt. Like being the biggest pain in the butt. There's a balance between being an advocate and a pain in the butt. And I'm sure we all know what that is, okay? Or at least are self-aware to be able to figure out what that is. But anyway, So again, I'm encouraging parents to invest in more and show up more than just, you know, when it comes to AAU and camps and, you know, the gear and all this other stuff. Like, there's so many other ways to me that go a little further, at least from a foundational standpoint for your athlete. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid that if you get a vague answer, or if you ask a question and somebody gives you an answer and you can't understand how that's going to be accomplished or in what way that will happen, ask a follow-up question. Get more understanding. There's so many different resources out there. I serve as a resource. So if you're not subscribed to this live series, please go to iamangelica.mcdonald.com/beyond the game, and you can subscribe for my live series so that you can get these videos that I do every Monday at 12 o'clock. And also share this with another parent or another athlete who could take advantage of this information, because I like to think that the information based on the feedback, I think this information is pretty helpful, and it's going to be helpful for athletes now and generations to come. So thank y'all for tuning in to today's episode of Beyond the Game. I will see y'all next week, next Monday. And again, come on back next Monday at 12. I will see you then. Have a good week.